Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are going to be installing the WhiteLine rear sway bar along with the Kartboy Endlinks. So I'll list the part numbers in the description below, but what we have today is the 22mm adjustable sway bar with the collars that stop the bushings from moving, the actual bushings, the greaseless bushings, so you don't need to worry about greasing them up, and the brace. And then we also have the Kartboy fixed Endlinks. So main reason to do this is to stiffen up the suspension on the back of the car. I've been looking for a video on how to install this combination. They're pretty much all the same, but I figured it took me a while to figure out how to do it, especially with the Kartboy Endlinks, because they include a lot of washers and spacers and I wasn't sure how to get them in. So I figured I'd make this video for you guys to help you guys out. So let's go ahead and start the install. First steps first, get the car in the air. Now that we have the car in the air, you can see the OEM sway bar is right here, and then the end link is right there. So pretty much the two bolts holding up the sway bar, and then the bolt bolting it into the end link right there, and then the end link goes into the little control arm right here. So what I'm going to do now is blast with some PB blaster, let that soak for a couple minutes, so then the bolts won't give me a hard time to take off. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to start by taking out this bolt for the lower control arm, which holds the end link in. This is a 14mm, so I'm going to go ahead and loosen that up. My plan is to loosen this, get these two bolts done, and then pull the whole thing with the end links out. I've seen people try and do this. I'm going to try, saves me from taking that bolt out, but let's see how it goes. Now that we have those bolts removed, I'm going to remove the bolts holding in the sway bar. These are going to be 12mm. Now that we have those bolts removed, this sway bar is held in by this bracket right here. So you have to lift up. It's got a little hook on top. Lift up, and then you see the whole thing is free to go. So I'm going to try and finagle this out. Hopefully I don't have to take my exhaust out, because usually, hold on, let me get a better view. Usually what happens is people have trouble getting it out because of the Y pipe. I'm hoping, praying to God that I don't have to do that. Sometimes if your end links don't come out, you might need to loosen some of the LCA bolts, but mine are already free, so it should be good. Let's see. So honestly guys, it was pretty easy. Just be patient and move the bushing around so it fits through. So I'm doing a quick comparison. Sorry, this is kind of dirty because my gloves are garbage, but you can see the WhiteLine is so much thicker than the OEM one. Here is a side-by-side comparison, and also the end links. So anytime you do sways, you want to upgrade your end links because the stock ones are skinny AF. So these will provide more support for the added rigidity of the sway bar. And these are adjustable, so there's 3 holes where the end links go in. This is the medium setting, this is the hard stiffest setting, and this is the loosest setting. So now I'm gonna try and put everything back together. That was way easier than I thought, but fingers crossed. I don't want to jinx myself. Alright, let's go. So I have the sway bar placed in there now, held on by the brackets. I installed the WhiteLine bushings. So these are the greaseless bushings, so you don't need to put grease, even though they did provide grease. So I'm just going to say that for now. If it does get creaky down the road, I'm going to throw some of that in there. Just have a bolt holding it in. Now I'm going to work on the end links and get that buttoned up, because then we can tighten everything up. And I also need to clean everything up because my gloves are covered in this grime, because here in Canada we have to get a car rust proofed, and this shit is pretty nasty, and it collects a lot of dust on their way. And we just got done with winter, so still need to do a proper underbody wash. But yep, so that's just held up in there by the bracket, and which is the little hook on top. And now I'm gonna install the end links, and then we'll do the support bars that go from here to that lower bolt, I believe. So let's go ahead and get that installed. The main reason I made this video is because I couldn't figure out how to install these Kartboy Endlinks. I mean, they seem simple enough. There's 2 holes on each one of them, 2 nuts, 2 bolts, but what about all these spacers? So what happens is when this sits up, I believe the flat side's on the bottom. Anyways, so once this sits up like this, the bottom is in the LCA, the top is connected to the rear sway bar. So the front and the back, this is where the supplied bolt goes through, and you're going to put 1 washer on either side, like so, and then this bolt goes in here. And then this, I'm going to turn it up, so that is the front of the car, this is the back of the car, so front of the car that way, right? is sitting like this. So you have these two spacers. They're different sizes. So this sits in the front of the LCA. Just goes like that, and this sits in the back. So the idea behind it is you want this end link to be as straight as possible, and the space between the LCA. So that was the main reason I couldn't figure out how to install this, because I didn't know what the hell to do with all these bloody spacers and washers. But I think No Subs WRX, I believe, he did a very detailed install where he just installed Endlinks and Kartboys. So thanks for helping me out on that, and that's basically why I wanted to make this video. So people do want to install this and come across all this hardware, they know where the hell everything's supposed to go. But let me explain that again. So this sits like this, and then the two washers on either side of the bolt, and then the nut obviously. And while this is sitting like this, oh, stands up. This is the front of the car, this is the back of the car. This part sits inside the LCA. The thinner spacer goes on the front, and the thicker spacer goes on the back. And for the bottom, you're going to be reusing the OEM bolt and nut, and for the top, you're going to be using the supplied one. Alright, that's pretty much why I made this whole video. Alright, let's get back to it. Alright guys, so I have everything mocked up loosely, haven't tightened anything down. So the end link's in there. As you can see, I don't know, the small spacer goes in the front, and then the thicker one goes in the back. Sway bars in there, just have a one bolt holding it. Now we're gonna install the brace, the chassis support brace. So this bolts into the bottom of where the sway bar goes, this side, and then this side goes into here. So you're just gonna undo that bolt and reuse it for this. And then since there is a bigger space for the bottom part of the sway bar, there is hardware, nuts, bolts, and washers. So this should be pretty self-explanatory. I'm gonna go ahead and install this, and then we'll do the collars, and then we should be done. Alright guys, I have everything mocked up right now, hand tightened, just to make sure everything fits. So you see, you reuse that nut over there. This one comes with the supplied bolt and a crush washer and a flat washer, so that goes on that side and it screws right in. Same with the other side. I'm gonna now torque everything down, and then I will install the collars. So the collars pretty much go in here, stop the bushing from sliding around. So yeah, next step, tighten everything down, clean these up, because the gloves are really greasy and they look disgusting. So yep, clean that up, tighten everything down, and then I'll show you guys the final. Alright guys, so got everything torqued down, so everything is nice and installed. I went ahead and cleaned it up with some brake cleaner because it was gross with all the grime. And yeah, let's get to installing the collars now. Alright, so this is the last piece of the puzzle. These are the collars that come in the kit. So pretty much this go on either side of this bushings. There's two actually, so you get one on pretty much the inner side, that side right there. And this pretty much stops the bushing from moving around. So it's pretty easy. Comes with the Allen key. Just had to loosen it up, throw those things in, and tighten them down. We should be good to go. Alright, just to give you guys a better idea of where this goes. So on the inside of the bushing, they're very finicky because the bolts are so small, so just be patient. And yeah, I took my gloves off, so it's more easy for me to actually make sure that it's actually aligned and I'm not cross-threading anything. So put the top one in just to hold it. Now I'm gonna put the bottom one in and then tighten them down simultaneously. Obviously, if you tighten the top one down, then the bottom one's gonna, spread out and you won't be able to get it in straight. So just do it slowly, one at a time, and you should be good to go. So I'm gonna tighten these out on both sides, and then I'll show you the final product. Guys, so everything is done, bolted down. So as you can see, I cleaned it up too. So there are the collars. Don't try and force it. Last thing you want to do is strip those heads for the Allen key, but they're pretty easy to install. End links, everything's in, everything's nice and cleaned up. Yeah, super easy install. Probably take like an hour and a half. Pretty much 17, 14, and 12 millimeter bolts all around, minus the Allen key for the collars. And yeah, the hardest thing about this install, well, I had a little issue getting the bolts through the end link, not the end link, the sway bar holes, I think because of the powder coating. But after a little persuasion, they were in, so that was an issue. Other than that, other than the wrench falling on my face, everything went pretty smooth. So not bad, easy install, hour and a half, should be good. Once I get a couple miles in with this on, I will give you a review. I also have the strut tower bar in the front, so I'll install those, and then I'll give you a review on how the car feels. Alright, thanks for joining. Oh yeah, one last thing I wanted to point out. If you can see the end link, you see the small spacer in the front and the big spacer in the back. Pretty much it keeps the end link very parallel, so yeah, you want it as straight as possible when you do the install. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully if I have new parts in, I will do some install videos. Alright, take care, bye bye.